Okay, cool. Hello, yeah. About to be reading the Book of Enoch. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. And in those days I will open the store chambers of blessing which are in the heaven, and I will cause them to descend upon the earth and upon all the works of the labor of men. In truth and peace shall associate with the sons of men all the days of the world in every generation of it. Okay, so this is talking about the, I'll be saying the third and final world, but I don't know if it's going to be the final world. But after this second earth, which the main thing is that we're all descendants of Noah. In the third world, everybody that lives is going to pass through a wall of fire and receive our glorified bodies. And in the book of the Shamains, if you read that, a lot of people don't, because the first few chapters talks about hell, and it goes through all of the disciplines and everything for hell. But if you continue past that, and if you watch scary movies, you should be able to get past, that, because it tells you what to do not to go to hell. Being afraid of it isn't gonna do it, isn't gonna help you. But um, it talks about how when we receive our glorified bodies are whatever each person thinks is pure beauty in their mind, or whatever is, yeah, basically whatever is pure beauty in their mind. Like, we see in the book of, I think, Matthew's, they see I think they see Moses, and he's like bedazzled with diamonds all over. And when I heard that, I was like, I kind of don't want my glorified body to look like that. I thought that's what every glorified body looks like, but no, um, that's what he thought was the most beautiful. You know, he is, but he is embedded with diamonds all over his body. Me, I'm not gonna say what I want my glorified body to be, but I'll be thinking about it. Normally, I'll be depressed on here because my kids is going through some things, so I don't be putting that much effort into myself. I know people just be thinking like I'm just ugly, but it's like I don't really be trying to impress nobody. Plus, I be pulling women when I'm ugly anyway. So I because it's like, because I was pushing them all the way back then too, and I was putting like a little bit of effort, but I just went straight into depression, and that was to keep the men away, but then they'll start keeping the women away. So I'm about to put some more effort into myself, because men ain't got no fucking standards, none whatsoever. Um, and they're the ones I was trying to repel. So I gotta take care of myself if I want women to like me, because they start falling off. But anyways, about to jump back up here. We're on Enoch chapter 12. Normally I'll be on my videos. Face don't be washed. Face don't be washed. They ain't got no lotion. I just be depressed, and I'll be like, fuck it. Um, but no, actually, not all the time, but a lot of the times, because my children are being abused, like literally be siphoning all my energy, and I don't feel like I should be walking around looking good, and my children are being abused. But about to jump up in here. Um, chapter 12 of the Book of Enoch. Before all these things, Chanakh was concealed. He was hid. nor did any of the sons of men know where he was concealed. Bro, I feel like my nose is running. Where he had been and what had happened, he was wholly engaged with the holy ones and with the watchers in his days. I, Chanakh, was blessing the great Yahuwah and King of Peace. And behold, the watchers called me Chanakh, the scribe of Yahuwah. Chanakh, the scribe. Then Yahuwah said to me, Chanakh, scribe of righteousness, go tell the watchers of heaven, who have deserted the lofty sky in their holy everlasting station. Be patient with me, I wear glasses and I don't have them right now. That's so weird. The trash thing always comes at like midnight. That is so weird. And their holy everlasting station, who have been polluted with women. This is a pollution for them. This is not saying that women are a pollution. They were not supposed to do this. So please understand that. And have done as the sons of men do by taking themselves women, and who have been greatly corrupted on the earth, that on the earth they shall never obtain peace and remission of sin, for they shall not rejoice in their offspring, and they shall behold the slaughter of their beloved. This is speaking of the fallen angels, the 200 fallen angels that descended on Mount Hermon, shall lament for the destruction of their sons, and shall petition forever. But they shall not obtain mercy nor peace. Chapter 13. Then Chanakh, passing on, said to one of the fallen angels, you shall not obtain peace, a great sentence going forth against you. He shall bind you, neither shall relief, mercy, and supplication be yours, on account of the oppression which you have taught, and on account of every act of blasphemy, tyranny, and sin which you have discovered to the children of men. Then departing from him, I spoke to them all together, and they all became terrified and trembled, beseeching me to write for them a memorial of supplication. So the fallen angels are going to Enoch to ask him to pray to them, to pray for them to the Most High. Who messaged me? The only person in my world. Not the only person in my world, but, beside from my kids. What is she doing up? Hi, dang, it's okay. It's cold. Anyways, beseeching me to write for them a memorial of supplication, that they might obtain forgiveness, and that I might make the memorial of their prayer ascend up before the Elohim of heaven, because they could not themselves thenceforward address him, nor raise up their eyes to heaven. When the Most High first started calling me and I first learned his name Yahuwah, like, the devil kept trying to tempt me. And like I kept crying for like feeling like he was doing the same thing, wanted me to pray for the Most High to save him. And it was weird because then my sister went through that same thing. But then I read in scripture where it says you're not supposed to pray for him. He does that. The devil go around trying to make people feel sorry for him. because they could not themselves thenceforward address him nor rise up their eyes to heaven on account of the disgraceful offense which they were judged. Then I wrote a memorial of their prayer and supplications for their ruachos. Ruachos means soul. Read in the book of Enoch. For everything which they had done, and for the subject of their entry, that they might obtain remission and rest. So after the 200 fallen angels descended on Mount Hermon, and they took women, had children, they took women that were already married. So they took these women by force, taught them witchcraft, all of this other stuff. And now they're praying to the Most High for forgiveness. Proceeding on, I continued over the waters of Dan, which is on the right hand to the west of Hermon, reading the memorial of their prayer until I fell asleep. And behold, a dream came to me, and visions appeared above me. I fell down and saw a vision of punishment, that I might relate it to the sons of heaven and reprove them. When I awoke, I went to them. There's a hair tickling my neck. And all being collected together, stood weeping in, I don't know how to pronounce that, some place which is situated between Lebanon and Sinai, with their faces veiled, their faces were covered. I related in their presence all the visions which I had seen in my dream. The Most High still talks to his people through dreams. I be having dreams. I don't know what all of them mean. When I was little, I prayed to the Most High that he communicates with me and gives me dreams. And I do have dreams every night. I do not know what they all mean. Some of my dreams have meaning. Some of them I think just be dreams. I related in their presence all the visions which I had seen in my dream, and began to utter these words of righteousness, reproving the watchers of heaven. Chapter 14. This is the cipher of the words of righteousness, and of the reproof of the watchers who were from eternity, according to that which he who is holy and great commanded in the vision. I perceived in my dream that I was now speaking with the tongue of flesh, and with my breath, which El Elohim has put into the mouth of man, that they might converse with it and understand with the heart, as he has created and given men the power of comprehending the word of understanding, so has he created and given to me the power of reproving the watchers, the offspring of heaven. I have written your petition, and in my vision it has been shown me that your request will not be granted you as long as the world endures. Judgment has been passed upon you. Your request will not be granted you. From this time forward, never shall you ascend into heaven. He has said that on the earth he will bind you as long as the world endures. That's interesting because this world has an end, right? But before these things, you shall behold the destruction of your beloved. I don't know what's wrong with my eyes. It's like I was staring at something light because it's like I was staring at a light or something. I don't know what the heck. But before these things, you shall behold the destruction of your beloved sons. You shall not possess them, but they shall fall before you by the sword. Neither shall you entreat for them, nor for yourselves, but you shall weep and supplicate in silence the words of the Sefer which I wrote. A vision has appeared to me. Behold, in that vision, clouds and a mist invited me, agitated stars and flashes of lightning impelled and pressed me forward, while winds in the vision assisted my flight, accelerating my progress. They elevated me to they elevated me aloft to heaven. I proceeded until I arrived at a well-built stone of crystals. A tongue of fire surrounded it, which began to strike me with terror. Into this vibrating flame I entered and drew close to a suspicious habitation built with stones of crystal. I think this is talking about Hades. Its walls too, as well as pavement, were formed with stones of crystal, and crystals likewise was the ground. Its roof had the appearance of agitated stars and flashes of lightning, and among them were cherubim of fire, and their heaven was water. Their sky was water. So above them was water. Interesting. A flame burned around the walls, and its portal blazed with fire. Its portal blazed with fire. When I entered into this dwelling, it was hot as fire and cold as ice. No trace of delight or life was there. Terror overwhelmed me, and a fearful shrieking seized me. Violently agitated and trembling, I fell upon my face. In the vision I looked, and behold, there was another habitation, more spacious, every entrance to which was open before me, erected in a vibrating flame. So greatly did it excel in all points in glory and magnificence, and in magnitude, that it is impossible to describe it to you, either the splendor or the extent of it. Its floor was on fire. Above were lightning and agitated stars, while its roof exhibited a blazing fire. Attentively I surveyed it and saw that it contained an exalted throne, the appearance of which was like that of frost, while its circumference resembled the orb of the brilliant sun. There was the voice of cherubim. Cherubim are angels. For underneath this mighty throne, rivers of flaming fire issued. To look upon it was impossible. One great and glory sat upon it, whose robe was brighter than the sun and whiter than the snow. No angel was capable of penetrating to view the face of him. The glorious and the effulgent, nor could any mortal behold him. A fire was flaming around him. Fire also of great extent continued to rise up before him, so that not one of those who surrounded him was capable of approaching him. According to the myriads, tens of thousands, who were before him, to him holy consolation was needless. Yet did not the sanctified who were near him depart far from him, either by night nor by day, nor were they removed from him. I also was far I also was so far advanced with a veil on my face and trembling. Then Yahuwah with his own mouth called me, saying, approach hither to knock at my holy word. And he raised me up, making me draw near, even to the entrance. So, like scripture says, even in hell, the Most High is there and his holy angels, and we are just out of reach if we were to go to hell. Yahuwah willing, I pray that I do not go there, you know. I'm praying that I make it, you know. We all have to seek and strive, you know, even though it is a gift, we can't take advantage of the gift. We got to do work. We're not saved by the work. It is a gift, but we still got to work. But sitting on this throne was Yahuwah, the Holy One. My eye was directed to the ground. Chapter 15. Then addressing me, he spoke and said, hear, and neither be afraid, O righteous Chanakh, you scribe of righteousness. Approach closer and hear my voice. Go say to the watchers of heaven who have sent you to pray for them. Okay. You ought to pray for men, not men for you, because the holy angels were made to be ministers to mankind, to help us in our works for our Father. But the fallen one, the accuser, he wanted us to worship him. And now all 200 of them are on earth trying to make us worship him. Them. Right? Angels are supposed to pray for us. Wherefore have you forsaken the holy and lofty heaven, which endures forever, and have lain with women, and have defiled yourselves with the daughters of men, have taken to yourselves women, have acted like the sons of earth, and have begotten Nephilim, which are giants. You being spiritual, holy, possessing life, a life which is eternal, have polluted yourselves with women, and have begotten carnal blood, and have lusted in the blood of men, and have done all those which our flesh and blood do. These, however, die and perish. Therefore have I given them women, that they might cohabit with them, that sons might be born to them, and that this might be transacted upon the earth. But you from the beginning were made spiritual, possessing a life which is eternal, and not subject to death forever. Therefore I made not women for you, because they're spiritual, because being spiritual, your dwelling is in heaven. Now the Nephilim, giants, who have been born of the Ruach and of flesh, shall be called upon the earth evil spirits. And upon earth shall be their habitation. Evil Ruachos shall proceed from their flesh, because they were created from above. From the holy watchers was their beginning and primary foundation. Evil Ruachos shall they be upon the earth. And the Ruachos, so when they say spiritual giants, and there be spiritual giants over cities, when the Freemasons are doing their stuff, they're casting these evil spirits, the spirits of these fallen giants, over cities. And we're going to continue in the word of the Most High. And the Ruachos of the wicked shall they be called. The habitation of the Ruachos of heaven shall be in heaven, but upon earth shall be the habitation of terrestrial Ruachos, which is spirits, who are born on earth. The Ruachos of the Nephilim are like clouds, which shall oppress, corrupt, fall, content, and bruise upon the earth. They shall call lamentation, no food shall they eat, And they shall be thirsty, and they shall be concealed, they shall be hid, and shall rise up against the sons of men and against women, for they come forth during the day of slaughter of destruction. Chapter 16. And as to the death of the Nephilim, wheresoever their spirit departs from their body, let their flesh, which that which is perishable, be destroyed before the judgment. Thus shall they perish until the day of the great consummation, so that they can't go back into their bodies. So they let their flesh be destroyed so that they can't go back into their body. It's very interesting. Until the great day of consummation of the great world, a destruction shall take place of the watchers and impious. And now to the watchers who have sent you to pray for them, who in the beginning were in heaven. I see how, like, he didn't get called up into heaven to address Enoch regarding the fallen angels, but he got summoned to hell to address them. Like, this is your place. Now to the watchers who have sent you to pray for them, who in the beginning were in heaven, say, in heaven have you been. Secret things, however, have not been manifested to you. Yet have you known a reprobate mystery, and this have you related to women in the hardness of your heart. And by that mystery have women and mankind multiplied evils upon the earth. Say to them, the fallen angels, never therefore shall you obtain peace. Chapter 17. They raised me up into a certain place where the angels were like the appearance of a burning fire, and where they pleased, they assumed the light, and when they pleased, they assumed the likeness of men. They carried me to a lofty spot, to a mountain, to the top, which reaches to heaven. And behold, the receptacles of light and of thunder at the extremities of the place where it was deepest. There was a bow of fire and arrows in their quiver, a sword of fire, and every species of lightning. Then they elevated me to a babbling stream, into a fire in the west, which received all the setting of the sun. I came to a river of fire, which flowed like water, and emptied itself into the great sea eastward. I saw every large river until I arrived at the great darkness. I went to where all the flesh migrate. I beheld the mountains of the gloom, which constitutes winter, and the place from which issues the water in every abyss. I saw also the mouths of all the rivers in the world, and the mouths of the deep. Chapter 18. Then I surveyed the receptacles of all the winds, perceiving that they contributed to adorn the whole creation and to guard the foundation of the earth. I surveyed the stone which supports the corners of the earth. I also beheld the four winds which bear up the earth, in the expanse of the heaven, and I beheld the winds occupying the exalted sky, arising in the midst of heaven and of earth, and constituting the pillars of heaven. I saw the winds which turned the sky, which caused the orb of the sun and all the stars to set. And over the earth I saw the winds which support the clouds. I saw the paths of the angels. I perceived at the extremities of the earth the expanse of heaven above it. Then I passed on towards the south, where burnt both by day and night 6 mountains formed of glorious stones, 3 towards the east and 3 towards the south. Those which were towards the east were variegated stone, one of which was, I do not know how to pronounce that. It's okay. I'm not even going. And another of antimony. Those towards the south were a red stone. The middle one reached to heaven like the throne of Elohim, a throne composed of alabaster, the top of which was of sapphire. I saw, too, a blazing fire hanging over all the mountains. And there I saw a place on the other side of an extended territory where the waters were collected. I likewise beheld terrestrial fountains deep in the fiery columns of heaven. And in the columns of heaven I beheld fires which descended without number, but neither on high nor into the deep. Over these fountains also I perceived a place which had neither the expanse of heaven above it, nor the solid ground beneath it. Neither was there water above it or anything on wing, but the spot was desolate. And there I beheld 7 stars like blazing mountains, like spirits entreating me. Then the angel said, "This place until the consummation of heaven and earth will be the prison of the stars and the host of heaven. The stars which roll over the fire are those which transgress the commandment of Elohim before their time arrived. For they came not in their proper season. Therefore he was offended by them and bound them until the period of consummation of their crimes in this secret year." Chapter 19. Then Uriel said, "Here the angels who cohabited with women appointed their leaders. In assuming many forms, men made profane and caused them to err, that they sacrificed to devils as to Elohim." Like the grove. For in the great day of judgment, with which they shall be judged until they are consumed, and their women also shall be judged, who led astray the angels of heaven, that they might salute them. And I, Chanakh, I alone saw the likeness of the end of all things, nor did any man see it as I saw it. Chapter 20. These are the names of the angels who watch. Uriel, one of the holy angels, who is over clamor and terror. Raphael, one of the holy angels, who is over the spirits of men. Raphael. Raguel, one of the holy angels, who inflicts punishment on the world and the stars. So the stars are angels. Michael, one of the holy angels, who is over mankind in virtue and commands the nations. Serachiel, one of the holy angels, who is over the spirits of the children of men that transgress. Gabriel, one of the holy angels, who is over the serpents. So Gabriel has control over the serpents. Minister Gabriel. Over paradise and over the cherubim. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Chapter 21. Then I made a circuit to a place in which nothing was completed, and there I beheld neither tremendous workmanship of an extent of an exalted heaven, nor of an established earth, but a desolate spot, prepared and terrific. There too I beheld 7 stars of heaven bound in it together like great mountains, and like a blazing fire. I exclaimed, for what species of crime have they been bound, and why have they been removed to this place? Then Uriel, one of the holy, who was over clamoring terror. Okay, one of the holy angels who was with me and who conducted me answered to knock. Wherefore do you ask? Wherefore do you reason with yourself and anxiously inquire? These are those of the stars which have transgressed the commandment of El Elyon and are here bound until the infinite number of the days of their crimes be completed. In English, El Elyon can be translated to the Lord our God. From there afterward, I passed on to another terrific place, where I beheld the operation of a great fire, blazing and glittering in the midst, of which there was a division. Columns of fire struggled together to the end of the abyss. 38 minutes. And deep was their descent, but neither its measurement nor its magnitude was I able to discover, neither could I perceive its origin. Then I exclaimed, how terrible is this place, and how difficult to explore. Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said, Chanakh, why are you alarmed? He senses his fear. And amazed at this terrific place, at the sight of this suffering. This, he said, is the prison of the angels, and here they are kept forever. Chapter 22. From there I proceeded to another spot where I was in the west, where I saw in the west a great and lofty mountains, and a strong rock, and 4 delightful places. Internally it was deep, I cannot say this word, capacious, and very smooth, as smooth as if it had been rolled over. It was both deep and dark to behold. Then Raphael, one of the holy angels, Raphael, he is over the spirits of men. Then Raphael, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered me and said, these are the delightful places where the spirits of the souls of the dead will be collected. Yeah, they're answering him according to their what they do, will be collected. So I need to study this page. Where am I at? Then Raphael, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said, "These are the delightful places where the spirits, the souls of the dead, will be collected. For them were they formed, and here will be collected all the souls of the sons of men. These places in which they dwell shall they occupy until the day of judgment, and until their appointed period. Their appointed period will be long, even until the great judgment. And I saw the ruachos of the sons of men who were dead, and their voices reached to heaven while they were accusing. Then I inquired of Raphael, an angel who was with me, and said, Whose ruach is that? The voice of whom reaches to heaven and accuses. He answered, saying, This is the ruach of Abel, who was slain by Cain his brother. And who will accuse his brother until his seed be destroyed from the face of the earth? Okay, yeah, so this is pre-flood. Okay. Until his seed perish from the seed of man. At that time, because Enoch was pre-flood, at that time, therefore I inquired respecting him, and respecting the general judgment, saying, Why is one separated from another? He answered, 3 separations have been made between spirits of the dead, and thus have the spirits of the righteous been separated, namely by chasm, by water, and by light above it. And in the same way, likewise, are sinners separated when they die and are buried in the earth, judgment not overtaking them in their lifetime. Here their souls are separated. Moreover, abundant is their suffering until the time of the great judgment, the castigation and torment of those who eternally execrate, whose souls are punished and bound there forever. And thus has it been from the beginning of the world. Thus has there existed a separation between the souls of those who utter complaints and those who watch for their destruction, to slaughter them in the day of sinners. A receptacle of this sort has been formed for the souls of the unrighteous men and of the sinners and of those who have completed crime and associated with the impious, whom they resemble. Their souls shall not be annihilated. Their souls shall not be annihilated on the day of judgment, neither shall they arise from this place. Dang. Then I blessed Elohim and said, Blessed be my Adonai, my Father Yahuwah, of glory and of righteousness, who reigns over all forever and ever. Hallelujah. Chapter 23. From there I went to another place towards the west, to the extremities of the earth, where I beheld a fire blazing and running along without cessation, without stopping, which intermitted its course neither by day nor night, but continued always the same. I inquired, saying, What is this which never ceases? Then Raguel, one of the holy angels who were with me, answered and said, This is a blazing fire, which you behold running towards the west, is the luminaries of heaven, is the stars of heaven. What does Raguel do? Raguel, one of the holy angels who inflicts punishment on the world and stars. Okay. Okay, so that's. I went from there to another place and saw a mountain of fire flashing both by day and night. I proceeded towards it and perceived 7 splendid mountains, which were all different from each other. Their stones were brilliant and beautiful. All were brilliant and splendid to behold. The and beautiful was their surface. 3 were towards the east and strengthened by being placed upon another, and 3 were towards the south, strengthened in similar manner. There were likewise deep valleys which did not approach each other, and the 7th mountain was in the midst of them. In length they resembled the seat of a throne, and odoriferous trees surrounded them. Oh, it's about to go over. It's about to go over the fruit, the forbidden fruit. It's not an apple. Among these was a tree of an unceasing smell, and of those which were in Eden was there on the day was there one of all the fragrant trees which smelt like this. Its leaf, its flower, and its bark never withered, and its fruit was beautiful. The fruit resembled the cluster of the palm. I exclaimed, "Behold, this tree is goodly in aspect, pleasing in its leaf." Excuse me. And the sight of its fruit is delightful to the eye. Then Michael, one of the holy angels and glorious angels who was with me, and who presided over them, answered, who was over mankind in virtue and commands the nations, and said, "Chanakh, why do you inquire respecting the odor of this tree? Are you inquisitive to know it?" Then I, Chanakh, replied to him and said, "Concerning everything I am desirous of instruction, but particularly concerning this tree." He answered me, saying, "That mountain which you beheld, the extent of whose head resembled the seat of Yahuwah, will be the seat on which shall sit the holy and great Yahuwah of glory, the everlasting King, when he shall come and descend to visit the earth with goodness." And the tree of an agreeable smell, not one of carnal odor, and there shall be no power to touch until the period of the great judgment, when all shall be punished and consumed forever. This shall be bestowed upon the righteous and humble. Okay, okay. The fruit of the tree shall be given to the elect, for towards the north shall for towards the north life shall be planted in the holy place towards the habitation, bro, of the everlasting King. Then shall they greatly rejoice and exalt the Holy One. The sweet odor shall enter Where I'm at. The sweet odor shall enter their bones, and they shall live a long life on the earth as your forefathers have lived. They cut down all the trees that made us live thousands of years, hundreds of years. They're literally feeding us poison. Our bodies are very strong. We're not living long lives because of the food that we eat. Neither in their days shall sorrow, distress, trouble, and punishment afflict them. And I bless Yahuwah, all esteem my Yahuwah, of glory, the everlasting King, because he has prepared this tree for the Kodashim, set apart ones. In Christianity, they changed Kodashim for church. I am not a Christian. I am not a pagan. All Christians go through a baptism where they leave the church and become witches and then later return to the church. That's all intentional. Formed it and declared that he would give it to them. From there I proceeded to the middle of the earth, and beheld a happy and fertile spot, which contained branches continually sprouting from the trees which were planted in it. There I saw a holy mountain, and underneath it water on the eastern side, which flowed towards the south. I saw also on the east another mountain as high as that, and between them there were deep but not wide valleys. Water ran towards the mountain to the west of this, and underneath there was likewise another mountain. There was a valley, but not a wide one below it. And in the midst of them were other deep, dry valleys towards the extremities of the earth, of extremities of the three. All these valleys, which were deep but not wide, consisted of a strong rock, with a tree which was planted in them. And I wondered at the rock, at the valley, at the valleys, being extremely surprised. Then I said, what does this blessed land mean? With all these lofty trees, my bad, and the accursed valley between them. Then Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, replied, this valley is the accursed of the accursed forever. Dang. Here shall be collected all who utter with their mouths unbecoming language against Elohim and speak harsh things of his glory. Dang, those who take the name of the Most High in vain. Those who don't believe. Here shall they be collected. Here shall be their territory. In the later days, an example of judgment shall be made of them, in righteousness before the Kodashim, while those who have received mercy shall live forever, all their days. Bless Elohim, the everlasting King, all esteem to the Most High Yahuwah, for you are righteous in your ways. You have given us much time to learn the truth and come out of the dead man churches that do not teach your truth, but do teach lies. And at that period of judgment, shall they bless him for his mercy, as he has distributed it to them. So is this like just where they're going to live and the righteous are going to live somewhere else? Because they did say it was a beautiful piece of land. Okay. I done lost my. Where am I at? As he has distributed to him, then I blessed Elohim, addressing myself to him and making mention, as was proper of his greatness. Oh my goodness, stomach, chill out. Man, if you do not know the Most High, a direct relationship with the Most High, do not be ashamed of him or he will be ashamed of you. If you in these churches, you lost. You got to have a direct relationship with the Most High El Yahuwah. Okay? Chapter 27. From this I proceeded towards the east and towards the middle of the mountains and the desert. The level surface only of which I perceived, it was full of trees and of the seed allotted to, and water leaked down upon it. There appeared a cataract composed of many cataracts, both towards the west and towards the east. Upon one side were trees, upon the other water and dew. Then I went to another place from the desert towards the east of the mountain which I had approached. There I beheld trees of judgment, particularly the sweet smelling opiate, frankincense, and myrrh, and trees unlike each other. And over it, above them, was the elevation of the eastern mountain at no great distance. I likewise saw another place with valleys of water which never wasted, where I perceived a goodly tree which in smell resembled the mastic tree. And towards the sides of these valleys I perceived cinnamon of a sweet odor over them. I advanced towards the east. Okay, I'm gonna stop there today, and when I read again, we're gonna be on Enoch chapter 30. So the book of Enoch chapter 30 is where we left off at. We finished 29. And yeah, so this is one of the removed books from scripture. And I love to read scripture. I'm studying scripture, and this is just what I'm doing on my channel for the Most High in the world as I survive this wasteland called Earth until my father get back. All right.